Welcome, everyone, and Happy New Year. This is the first town hall of 2025. Great to have you here. We're going to run through our roadmap and our new setup for the roadmap so that we can make sure that we can work with you guys better and collaborate better on what we should be doing, make sure we're aware of the most important things, get the priorities right, and most importantly, ship things as quickly as we can. I think we've discussed this before, but the previous roadmap got a bit stale and we kind of got a bit lost with how to understand whether things were still important. So something might have had a lot of votes previously, and we just couldn't seem to get on top of that with the previous setup. So we've got something pretty similar. It shouldn't really make a huge difference for you guys in terms of using it. All the data came across, but we've got some nice little tools now that help us manage things in a way more sort of ongoing way, really. We'll see you guys will be able to give feedback on specific tasks, items, and vote on them and answer questions about them, which gives us a lot more help. So I'll kind of show the front end and the back end of that so you can kind of see what we see and how valuable the feedback would be on specific items. And then what we'll do is we'll make sure either each town hall or certain town halls, we'll just check in with you guys and make sure that it's all working and the priorities seem right. Any questions before we get going? And welcome, Sunil. Hope you're well. I'll just share my screen. So I think I'll show it from the front end first, from your perspective. So you guys, when you go to the new, so we've still got the old roadmap running on roadmap.siteglide.com, which is here, but don't use it anymore. It's just there for reference. We'll probably leave it for a little while. And this is the new domain, feedback.siteglide.com. And a bit like the last one, it starts with sort of feedback first, and then that gets turned into a roadmap. So all the items will live here in feedback. Anything that's in open, so when you first create something, it will go into open. Anything that is in open will not appear on the roadmap itself. The roadmap statuses, excuse me, are backlog, next up, in progress, and done. So actually, in the sort of from the feedback side of things, that's in review, planned, in progress, and done. So if we just go back to post quickly, and you see planned, that means it's purple, it's next up. So as I say, open is not there yet. So John, very helpfully, you commented on something just before the call. So if we have a quick search for that, categories, for example. I'll just show you at the back end quickly while we're waiting. So at the back end, we have like an inbox of anything that's happened. So John, you posted a comment on this item here, categories, front end, children include, allow sorting. And you put a comment on there saying how we're being an impact on SEO for the site, but you also filled in, read seems to be getting a bit slow, not sure why. You filled in the 3 questions. So at the front end, it just came up. In this item at the front end, you'll get these questions. So how important is it to you? The next question is something like, when do you need it? And how often do you use it? Are the 3 questions. So based on that, you can give us a really good idea of like what's happening right now. So you might have voted on it, and there might be 10 people that have voted on it over the past X amount of time. But these will really give us an idea of a bit more detail on that and how urgent it is, and obviously comments and things as well. What we can then do is we can set a value and effort amount, and then that gives us a feature at the back end, which is really useful for us, called prioritize. So that will help us see the sort of easy wins, quick wins versus maybe things that aren't so important. Obviously, we still want to go through all of this, want to get all of your feedback, and we want to make sure we set those accordingly. But as an example, one we've talked about a bit is the customizable left-hand menu in admin, and that appears in quick wins because the effort is relatively low and the value is high. There'll be some bigger things like menu builder, for example, where the effort is higher. And obviously the API and Zapier rebuild, the effort was quite a bit higher as well. So should hopefully give you an idea of based on your feedback using all of the tools you have available here, you can really help us know how many people want a certain thing, how important it is, how it affects you, and we can start to piece it together from a workflow perspective and give you feedback on priorities. Another thing that's new that we haven't done well enough before is give you an expectation of on when it's coming. And I think from my perspective, last year was probably a bit disappointed on how we handle some of that. There are some things that I would love to have got to you guys a bit quicker, or at least let you know. Sort of dates and expectations. There are a couple of big things, as we explained, that we had to kind of bring in, such as the API rebuild. But now we want to make sure that we've got like some things that are being shipped regularly based on some set dates, and then maybe some bigger things. So different. I think it was Devon who suggested it, sort of a couple of lanes almost, a lane of some quick wins and core roadmap stuff. John and you and Nick mentioned it in the last town hall of some of these core things, just getting through them. We definitely want to do that. And then in the other lane is kind of bigger improvements, maybe fundamental things that would hopefully take the platform in the right direction, but also just some of those bigger tasks that would stop us getting the small ones done. So yeah, you'll see now that you can see dates on things. So if I go into this one, for example, that's the next date. It's in date order. So we expect to get that out this week. And yeah, we'll just keep adding dates to in progress. Well, essentially, we'll put dates on anything that's in planned. So then the thing in progress also has a date. We'll keep updating it as much as we possibly can to give you an idea of anything that changes, but we're working to those dates. Sometimes we'll just put in which quarter it is effectively. That at this stage is to give you an idea. We'll obviously bring those forwards as much as we possibly can. But it's just to make sure it's in a quarter and we've got our roadmap mapped out further ahead. Yeah, I think those are the main things. So you've obviously got the feedback page here. You can log feedback in here, so you can create a new post. You can also log feedback via Discord. We've got a new channel called Feedback for that. Literally, if you type something in the Discord channel, we can then convert that into an item really nice and quickly. And then finally, you can do it from admin as well. There's I'll quickly try and pull it up. Sorry. I'll pull it up in just a second. Yeah, there's finally a button in admin where you would be able to press this feedback button here, and you would be able to choose which type it is. So yeah, something I didn't mention, we've got these different tags, both in feedback and in roadmap, different types of item that you can submit. We're going to start running bugs through here to some extent. Obviously, we still want you guys to be able to log anything urgent with us in Discord, or live chat or tickets if needed. But we also think it's quite nice to be able to, if there's clearly an issue with a specific feature, it makes sense that you can kind of see that that's an identified bug. People can say how important it is and work in a similar way to how features work. Same with improvements. We kind of split out improvements so that it's features meant to be new ticket items really, and improvements meant to be just add-ons to an existing feature. And then finally, marketplace would be things like integrations or literally anything that would go in the marketplace. And you can just fill this in. What is quite nice, especially for the bugs one, is taking a screenshot. So you can use this tool to handle the screenshots as well. I think I've hopefully covered most of the new changes. So does that give a good idea of how to use it? Any particular questions?
Yeah, it seems fairly straightforward. As you say, I've been messing around with it a bit this morning and trying to, with our list, trying to get the stuff that we need on there for you so you know what we need. But yeah, no, it all seems fairly straightforward. So yeah, good.
I think one thing to say on that is we're well aware that there's still a lot of stuff hidden away in either open or in review that most definitely needs to be unplanned. And the task now for all of us, I guess, is maybe during the next few weeks, maybe before the next town hall, is to try and get that kind of feedback on which open items or in review items should be up the list. And into plan. And then once we get stuff into planned, maybe we can have a better catch up with you guys where we review it and go, look, does that seem right? Should this one be a little bit higher? And we one more thing to mention actually, we've also got a feature in the new tool called surveys. So we can send out quickly click new survey. We can send out like a vote on this feature versus this feature quick survey. We can ask you specific questions about a certain feature or whatever. So I think these kind of things will also further help us if we're not quite sure what to focus on, rather than just this stagnant. The way we had it before was just we kind of just had to go based on the votes, or to be honest, last year was mainly from town halls. We had a discussion. We then put it in one of the slides and just had that to work with. Whereas there's no point having an interactive roadmap if it doesn't stay up to date. So that's what we really want the new tool to do. We've got the feedback area, we've got the roadmap itself, we've got surveys, and we've obviously got that prioritization matrix as well. So yeah, we would love your help in making sure that we get next up as accurate as possible. Anyone else? Any questions? I mean, I think it is self-explanatory. Hopefully, it's very similar to the last one, but we just want to make sure that I hope I want to make sure that everyone sees it as a change, and we really want to do roadmap differently to how it was done last year, especially. I think it's an opportunity. Always have some New Year resolutions or new things you want to do, but I personally want to run the roadmap in a way more collaborative and a better way so that we know we're working on what matters.
It certainly looks very straightforward. It's also a good bit of functionality that might work as a module for other businesses to use for recording other sorts of things potentially. I think.
Yeah,
For me, the biggest thing will be going through the backlog just to see what the things are that are in there and understanding them. I'm wondering if at town halls you could look at the next, like these are the next ups, and then get a discussion going about them rather than doing it remotely and individually, because we might have the biggest issue for me will be understanding exactly what the item is potentially. So that might save a bit of understanding in that sense.
I totally agree. And quite often we need a bit of input to flesh out a solution or even understand a problem. So, yeah, totally agree. So, just to be clear, at the moment, backlog isn't even actually everything. It's everything that's in review, in feedback. So we need to go through open and the in review items effectively. And that's it's not a small job. And I don't know whether I think we'll probably try and do more of it at our end to make sure that we get rid of any duplication, to get rid of anything that's clearly outdated. We'll also try and improve the wording on things so it's clearer as to what they are. But I still think we need a decent amount of feedback on what the current problems are, whether something's still relevant, maybe, and how important it is. So at some point, when you get a bit of time, sort of sift through, or obviously use the search to look at the things that are bothering you at the moment. And as I say, just either fill out the questions, put in a comment, or that's probably or vote on it, obviously. So that will help us massively. And then, as you say, I think we really should have regular calls where we just run through, probably running through anything that's been heavily talked about, plus anything in backlog, so we can get it into next up, and also check that next up is correct. I think it's going to be a bit of work at the beginning, and hopefully once we all feel that kind of it's pretty accurate, it should just be a case of staying on top of it and dealing with anything new. Good. Yeah, I was hoping it would be relatively straightforward. We'll keep looking at how we can better use it and the integration with things like Discord. So I think Discord is a fantastic way of chatting about something, and then obviously we make sure we get the summary into the item itself, in roadmap. Yeah, okay. Well, I think I'll stop there. That's all. Wanted to keep it nice and short on roadmap from our side. But over to you guys if you have any questions, and thing for the new year to kick us off, either challenge or any
Hello,
ideas. Hi, Sunil. How
hello.
are you?
I am good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah. How can I help?
Actually, I wanted to know, do you have any already feature request added for you? Do you know we have a menu in a Siteglide admin that is CRM users and CRM companies. Okay.
Mhm.
So now, actually, if you check in the admin, they are correlated to each other. Means we can add the company to any user. Okay. But when we export the CRM users, we cannot add the companies for that users, means we don't get that companies column in the CSV file.
Right. So let's do a test. So at the sort of this end that you guys would see, we can search for CRM quickly on roadmap firstly.
Yeah,
Thing always seems to go slow when you're on a Zoom call. I don't know why.
because
Um,
suppose if I have to add the company for 100 or 200 CRM users, then it is very difficult to add that companies using admin. So we
of course.
prefer to do it using the CSV.
Yeah. Let me why everything is going slow. Um, I think my connection's being a little funny.
No
Um,
issues, means we can check later also if that request is there or not. If it is not there
sure.
and if people are interested to get that feature, uh, means we can go for that feature. Or if it is
Yeah.
bug, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you can't find it, so the first thing to do would be to check feedback and roadmap. Apologies, I'm not sure why I can't seem to do a proper search at the moment. I've never had this when not on a Zoom call, obviously, typically. But yeah, do a search for it. If you can't find it, just create a new post, either from here or from admin. We do have a tool, there's actually a tool built in for deduplication and for linking things together. So even if you do create a duplicate, it's not the end of the world. We'll try and stay on top of that for anything new. Yeah, so create it and then even maybe grab the link once you've created it and put it in the Discord feedback channel if you want to try and get, obviously, the more people that say that they need it, the higher up the list it can go. So everybody feel free to try and discuss it if you think it's a worthy item. Obviously, if you know it's something that only you guys are going to use, you're probably going to have a bit of a harder time with that. And yeah, just have to gauge how valuable you think it is. But yes, just add it as an item, and then we'll discuss it with you guys, and work out priorities. Yeah, good example. Thanks. Yeah, I think I'll stop sharing again. Yeah, over to you guys. Anything else you wanted to discuss?
I'm going to have to dip out. Apologies, but I think Nick's coming in for the evening one, so you'll see
Yeah,
that.
great.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Cheers,
Have a
John.
good day.
Good to see you. You
And
too.
you. Cheers. Bye.
Oh, well, happy to keep it short and sweet. But yeah, honestly, if there's anything else you'd like to ask, ask away. don't think there's anything else in the meantime that we wanted to cover. I think it's always good at the start of the year to look at roadmap and focus on that to make sure we've got it right. But the new stack, private stack side of things, we'll give updates on that soon. But we should soon have the Cloudflare and Oracle option for hosting. We'll be talking about that more very soon. Some nice extra features, especially with Cloudflare. Good. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, we can leave it there this time, and I think we'll keep trying to do these monthly. If we feel that we need any sort of ones in between for any particular topics, like a roadmap discussion, then we can put those in as well. So feel free to suggest it. Sorry, Rox, did you have anything?
No, it's better just turn the microphone on so I can say goodbye.
Sure. All right. Good. Well, yeah, good to see you guys, and hope all's well, and catch up next time.
Yeah, thanks,
So,
Luke. See you
So
soon
much.
else.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye.